नमस्ते सम्पूर्ण मेरा मित्रहरू जो अहिले फेसबुक, युट्युब र इन्स्टाग्राम हेरेर बसिराख्नु भएको छ। तपाईँलाई आज फेरि शुभ सायं भन्न चाहन्छु। अथवा संसारको जुनसुकै कुनामा बसिराख्नु भएको छ भने पनि तपाईँलाई त्यही तरिकाले सम्बोधन गर्दै आज यो कार्यक्रममा जोडिनु भएकोमा विशेष धन्यवाद पनि दिन चाहन्छु। सधैँभन्दा आज अलिक छुट्टै किसिमको कार्यक्रम पनि छ। कारण किनभने आज हामी जस्तै कथा, व्यथा बोकेर धेरै सफलता हासिल गर्नुभएका एकजना शिक्षक हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँको नाम हो डाक्टर फल। आज उहाँसँग हामी भलाकुसारी गर्नेछौँ। आजको भलाकुसारी हाम्रो जीवनसँग मिल्दोजुल्दो तर फाल्टै अर्कै समाजबाट आएका व्यक्तिसँग भएका कारणले गर्दा यो विशेष छ। र जो तपाईँ हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ, तपाईँलाई म सधैँ जस्तै अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु, कृपया तपाईँले लाइक गर्नुहोला, सेयर गर्नुहोला र कमेन्ट लेख्नुहोला र उहाँलाई पनि केही प्रश्नहरू सोध्नुहोला। आज दुईटै भाषामा गरिन्छ। तपाईँले अल्छी नमानिकन अन्तिमसम्म हेर्नुहोला। त्यति भन्दै म आजका पाहुनालाई म अगाडि निम्त्याउन चाहन्छु र उहाँको परिचय म पढेर सुनाउँछु। नमस्ते डाक्टर फल।
Namaste. How you doing?
Thank you for coming. And what I'm going to do today is, because we speak two languages, as I mentioned a little bit before, I have prepared your introduction in Nepali. So as you are here on the screen, I'll be reading your introduction in Nepali and sharing with my audience. And after that, I'll share that in English as well. But let me introduce you in my language to the audience. Okay. नमस्ते दर्शक साथीहरू, मेरोसँग आज हुनुहुन्छ मेरो साथी शैक्षिक व्यावसायिक यात्रा। उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ उहाँको शैक्षिक व्यावसायिक यात्रा अमेरिकी र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय सन्दर्भहरू दुवैलाई समेटेर विशेष गरी भाषा शिक्षण पाठ्यक्रम डिजाइन र विविध विद्यार्थी समुदायका लागि शिक्षणमा केन्द्रित छ। उहाँले अङ्ग्रेजी साहित्यमा स्नातकोत्तर एमए, अङ्ग्रेजी भाषी नभएका विद्यार्थीहरूलाई अङ्ग्रेजी पढाउने टोसलमा स्नातकोत्तर र पाठ्यक्रम तथा निर्देशनमा विद्यावारिधि पिएचडी उपलब्धि गर्नुभएको छ। पछिल्लो 20 वर्षमा उहाँ विभिन्न भूमिकामा शिक्षकको रूपमा कार्यरत रहेको हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँले कोलम्बस सिटी स्कुलमा इन्टरनेसनल असिस्टेन्टको रूपमा सुरुवातमा काम गर्नुभयो। त्यसपछि 8 वर्ष साउथ वेस्ट सिटी स्कुलमा अङ्ग्रेजी भाषा शिक्षकको रूपमा बिताउनुभयो र पछिल्ला 10 वर्षदेखि उहाँ रेनोल्ड्सबर्ग सिटी स्कुलमा कार्यरत हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँ सेनेगलमा जन्मिनुभयो, हुर्किनुभयो र यस्तो समुदायमा जसले एउटा बच्चा हुर्काउन पुरै गाउँ चाहिन्छ भन्ने भनाइलाई साँच्चैकै आत्मसात गर्दछ। उहाँ प्राय बाल्यकालको अनुभवलाई खाली गिलाससँग तुलना पनि गर्नुहुन्छ, जसलाई बिस्तारै बुवा आमा, दाजुभाइ, परिवारका अन्य सदस्य र छिमेकीहरूले भरिन्छ। यस्तो सामूहिक पालन पोषणको दृष्टिकोण सेनेगली संस्कृतिमा गहिरोसँग जरा गाडेको महसुसको भावना हो, जुन मूल्यले उहाँको शैक्षिक कार्यमा आज पनि प्रभाव पारिरहेको छ। आज उहाँ आफ्नो पहिलो उपन्यास अस्टारेटेड को प्रकाशन को समाचार पनि उत्साहका साथ बढाउन चाहनुहुन्छ। यो कथा 15 वर्षको बकारीको जीवनको यात्रा पछ्याउँछ, जसले अत्यन्तै ठूलो क्षतिपछि आफ्नो जीवनलाई पुनः सम्हाल्ने प्रयास गरेको हुन्छ। टुहुरो भई शोकमा डुबेका बकारीले दुःखले चुडिएको संसारमा आफैको बाटो फेला पार्छ। उहाँको कथा वाचनप्रतिको प्रेम वात्सल्यमै बाल्यकालमै सुरु भयो, जब प्रत्येक साँझ उहाँकी हजुरआमाबाट घरमा सुन्दर कथाहरू हुन्थे। हाम्रो सानो तटीय सहर मबुर सेनेगलमा उहाँका कथाहरूले कल्पनासित उजागर गरिदिए र जीवनभरको कथा प्रेमको मोहको बिउ छरिदिए। त्यो प्रारम्भिक रुचि अफ्रिकी, बेलायती र अमेरिकी साहित्यको उहाँको शैक्षिक अध्ययनतर्फ अझ प्रगाढ भयो। उहाँ विशेष गरी अफ्रिकी लेखकहरूबाट प्रभावित भएको हुनुहुन्छ, जसका रचनाहरूले कथाले संस्कृतिको गहिराई र भावनात्मक सत्य दुवै जागरण गर्न सक्छ भन्ने देखाउँछ। यो प्रेमहरूको प्रेमहरूको उहाँलाई शिक्षक लेखक र लेखक दुवैमा आज पनि आकारित रहेका हुन्छन्। मैले उहाँको परिचय नेपालीमा पढेर सुनाएँ। Thank you, Dr. Fall. I share your introduction in Nepali language. I know that you didn't understand, but many of my audience understood about it. So, उहाँ डक्टर फल हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँको आज भलाकुसारी उहाँसँग गर्नेछौँ र तपाईँ सबैजनाले म अनुरोध गर्छु आफ्नो सेयर गर्नु होला, लाइक गर्नु होला. So, Dr. Fall, today how we're going to do is we talk a little bit about before we went live. And so I'll be asking questions in English, and definitely you'll be answering in English only. And after that, I'll make a short, interpretation. I'll not do word by word because many of our audience, they'll be understanding both English and Nepali language. So that's how we're gonna go. So again, thank you for coming, and we'll do our first time talking about your life story here and also about your book. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Fall. So first thing is, several years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I was invited in Hannah Ashton Middle School, where I was one of the speaker among many other speakers, and I happened to be in your class. I don't know whether you chose or somebody chosen to that class. I was so impressed about your classroom setting, which we will be talking about it in a minute. And that made me thinking about you a lot, because how is this possible to do in this kind of environment? Because looking at your classroom and all those situations. And that is the day that I wanted to interview you. And it took almost 5 years to find that time. And today is the day. Thank you for coming for that. So as I read your bio and I learned more about you, you were born in Senegal. Senegal, I read about your country recently, and I also read about Senegal in a book by Umar Ba. He wrote a book, how he came to US. That's a whole story about his book, his life in that book. Can you talk a little bit about your childhood life? How was your life when you were growing up in Senegal and those kind of things? Then we can go from there.
Thank you. But before I do so, please allow me to thank you for the warm introduction. And although I don't have a complete command of the Nepali language, I could tell from your energy that it was a heartfelt introduction. And I thank you for that. And also, I would like to take the opportunity to thank everybody in the audience, people who were able to join us this evening. Thank you for taking time. And I know some people are watching overseas, and currently could be midnight, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but they have given us their time to watch us. My childhood is very interesting childhood, and I grew up in a community that is the true embodiment of the common saying, it takes a village to raise a child. The community from which I was born and raised does not just doesn't just was a community that really embodies that term, and here's why. So I was raised by my parents, who instill in me the value of education, the value of humanity, the value of taking care of one another. But my parents, although they did a good job raising us, my siblings and I, they could not have done so without the help of a community. And what I mean by community, it is my parents, of course, my older siblings, who really helped chart the pathway, showing us example, being role model, but also our neighbors, because neighbors are families where I grew up. The neighbors, the community at large, but also school. So I am a product of a community that refused to let its children fall through the crack.
Thank you.
And I am very thankful for it.
Thank you, Dr. Fall. Let me translate that into, interpret that into Nepali. सो मैले उहाँलाई सोधेको थिएँ, उहाँको परिचय मैले नेपालीमा गराएँ, त्यस पछाडि उहाँलाई मैले सोधेको थिएँ, तपाईँ सेनेगल भन्ने मुलुकबाट आउनुभएको छ, जुन चाहिँ हामीभन्दा निकै अर्कै खालको हो। मैले त्यहाँको जीवनशैली अलिअलि पढेको पनि थिएँ र तपाईँको हुर्काई बढाइ कस्तो छ भनेर मैले उहाँ भनेको थिएँ। उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ, म यस्तो परिवारमा हुर्केँ, यस्तो परिवारमा बढेँ, जहाँ चाहिँ एउटा बच्चालाई हुर्काउनको लागि सारा गाउँले सहायता गर्नुपर्छ भनेर उखान छ। त्यो उखानसँग तालमेल खान्छ मेरो जीवन। हुन त मेरा बुवा आमाले मलाई जन्म दिनुभयो, मेरो त्यहाँको ज्ञान दिनुभयो, शिक्षा दिनुभयो। तर बुवा आमाका साथसाथै मेरा दाजु भाइहरू जो मेरा थिए, उहाँहरूको सहयोग र सम्पूर्ण समाजको सहयोग र मेरो स्कुलको सहयोग, यी सबै थोकका कारणले गर्दाखेरि म जो छु त्यो भएँ आज। र मेरो जीवनमा मेरो गाउँ, मेरो ठाउँ, उहाँको समाज, उहाँको परिवेश, यी परिवेशको कारणले गर्दाखेरि म यो जो काम गर्छु त्यो काम गर्नलाई सफल भएको छु भन्नुहुँदैछ। थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल। क्यान यू कन्टिन्यू?
Yes. So the way I could liken the community in which I grew up as a community that each and every person that touches your life contribute in some way in your growth,
Wow.
your development. So I liken the early experience of a child as an empty glass. And that empty glass is gradually filled with love, compassion by the people I just mentioned earlier as members of the community. And that just really help us ground it and help us see find ways to help one another.
Wow. Wow.
That's the kind of
It's
community
very
I am
powerful. Thank you
as a
so much,
child.
Dr. Fall. उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ, मेरो समाज, मेरो मलाई कस्तो लाग्छ भने मेरो जीवन एउटा बालकको जीवन चाहिँ खाली ग्लास जस्तै हो। त्यो खाली ग्लासलाई भर्ने काम चाहिँ बुवा आमाको माया, प्रेम, समाजको सद्भाव, विचार र सबै जो समाजमा भएका विद्यालय शिक्षक सबै हुन्छन्, उहाँहरूले एक थोपा, दुई थोपा, तीन थोपा गर्दै लागेका यी सबै खालका कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो भरिन्छ, त्यस कारणले त्यो भरि हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ उहाँले गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ। इट्स भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट। सो एनालोजी अफ एम्प्टी ग्लास, so you said filled by the society, whether it's a good or bad. Is that you mean that one?
No, it is. You see, since you're surrounded by a community of adults who are looking out for the well-being of the children, there are lots of love, a lot of role models, and again, neighbors. The concept of neighbors back home is completely different from the concept of neighbors in some Western countries. Your neighbors are your brothers and your sisters. They're like part of your family. So your neighbors can see you doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, and they will tell your parents because they're part of child rearing. They're part of helping your parents raise you in following the right path.
Wow.
Example that is your grown-up set for you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very important. That's so important. I share this story a lot because I was born in Bhutan. I grew up in a refugee camp and I spent 18 plus years in a refugee camp. So while I was then in a refugee camp for 18 years, in reality, we did not have a door in our house because all the neighbors used to watch and make sure that things have been going good. So you got this very same example that everybody was looking after each other. That's how we were doing the things. Thank you, Dr. Fall. Let me read some of the comments here. Agasti saying Jai Sri Narayana Bhuvan Bhai. So he just salute. Thank you, Agasti ji and Tara. Namaskar. So Evelyn, I might mispronounce that name. Jagedi. Is that correct pronunciation? Yes. If I mispronounce, I'm sorry, Evelyn. Cheers to us all doing our best to be part of and building communities and don't let children fall through the cracks. Thank you. That's so important that you brought and you gave a very good example. And also, I'm asking my friends who are watching, please share this video and make sure you like, comment, and also put some of your comments in a YouTube rather than in Facebook. That will be remaining forever. So thank you, Dr. Fall. So the next thing is which, do you have to add anything else on this one?
Yes, I would like to give a shout out to Evelyn. I will talk about her later.
Okay, thank you. So now let me
Yeah.
let me bring the next thing, Dr. Falls. Very broad. You got that point to the my next question. I don't know how it's going on, but you got my next question. As I mentioned a little bit, I
Mhm,
was born in Bhutan. As many of
mhm,
our audience may know, may not know, it's a very small country, tiny dot in the world map between India and Tibet, or India and China. And when I was growing up, the 1990, the king will make a policy called One Nation, One People policy. I don't want to talk more detail about it. But whenever I think anything here today, after the 40 plus years, if I start thinking east, my thinking directly goes in front of my house. And
mm.
from there, okay, which side is the east? They'll have to think from there. I don't know how, but that happens. So after maybe many years, you are in the United States doing many different things. What is one childhood memory that you want to share with us today? Can you share one of those childhood memories?
I I don't want to say I wasn't supposed to be here because I believe that everybody um, will fill the space that was meant for you to fill. But growing up, I did not see myself or I didn't envision being a teacher. I, because of my love for animals, I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh,
But something happened that completely changed the trajectory of my life. And it was from a teacher who's also a member of the community. As a teenager, I had my challenge also, just like every other teenagers. I faced challenges that threatened to derail me from the path that my parents, my older siblings, would want me to follow. So I had gone to a point where I did not enjoy traditional education, where I was really falling through the crack. But again, with the presence of a community that would not let any child fall through the crack, that teacher changed my life with 7 words. I will never give up on you. And this is after he tried so many times to talk to me about watching me, watching my grades plummeting, when no other teacher beside him really took time to talk to me and guide me. He must have seen something in me that other teachers didn't see. He refused to let me fall through the crack. With those 7 words, he made me rethink. And I decided from that day on that I wanted to be a teacher. So I too can change somebody else's life the way that teacher changed my life. It's
wow.
almost like a mission because that was not what I planned to do. Although my parents were educators, I come from a family of educators. Both my parents were educators. I have 4 brothers who are also educators. But that was not what I wanted to do. At a young age, I wanted to become a veterinarian. Here I am, almost 40 years after that talk with that teacher. 40 years. Here I am, and I've been in education the past 20 years. And I hope I
Wow.
can only touch one child's life the way that teacher touched my life.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
my purpose.
Thank you, Dr. Fall. So powerful, so powerful. Let me tell these things. I don't think I can tell this thing exactly what you told in English, in Nepali, but so powerful. मैले उहाँलाई सोधेको थिएँ, म भुटानमा जन्मेको हो, भुटानमा मेरो जिन्दगी अर्कै खालको थियो र मेरो भुटान सम्झिँदाखेरि जहिले पनि मैले पूर्व सम्झेँ भने भुटानको मेरो घरको दैलो सम्झिनुपर्छ, त्यहाँबाट मात्रै पूर्व सम्झिन्छु भन्ने कुरा मैले उहाँलाई भनेको थिएँ। तपाईँ सानो छँदाको एउटा कथा भनिदिनुहोस् न भन्ने मैले भनेको थिएँ। उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ, म सानो छँदाखेरि मेरो जीवनमा अर्कै खालको थियो र मेरो जीवनमा म यहाँ आउँथिनँ भन्न त म सक्दिनँ। म के हुन्थेँ मलाई सबै स्पष्ट त थाहा छैन। तर उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ मेरो जीवनमा म चाहिँ एउटा कुनै पशु डाक्टर हुन्थेँ किनभने मेरो सपना थियो, विचार थियो किनभने म पशुपट्टि धेरै माया गर्थेँ। तर मेरो जिन्दगी अलिक अप्ठ्यारै खालको थियो र मलाई विभिन्न शिक्षकहरूले कतिखेप कुरा के कस्ता-कस्ता कुरा भए तर एकजना शिक्षकले चाहिँ हरदम, हर पल यो मान्छे बाटो छोडेको छ भनेर कोसिस गरेको छ, गरेको छ, गरेको छ गरिरहेका थिए। तर एक दिन उहाँलाई आएर भने, "I will the 7 words. What are the 7 words?
I will never give up on you.
I will
I
never give
will
up on
never
you."
give up
भन्नुभयो।
on you. Yes.
यी 7 वटा शब्द भन्नुभयो। अर्थात् के भने उहाँ शिक्षकले उहाँलाई भेटेर भने, "तिमीलाई म जीवनमा कहिले पनि छोड्नेवाला छैन।" अर्थात् सुबाटोमा लगाएरै छोड्छु, कुबाटोमा जान दिन्न शिक्षकले भनिसकेपछि उहाँ भावनात्मक हुनुभयो। अनि त्यही दिनदेखि त्यही क्षणदेखि उहाँले भन्नुभयो, "म जीवनमा केही गरेर देखाउँछु र म अब जीवनमा शिक्षक हुन्छु" भनेर। त्यो उहाँ शिक्षकले भनेको 40 वर्ष पछाडि पनि म आज यहाँनिर विभिन्न विद्यार्थीहरूको कसैको जिन्दगीलाई सुधार्नका लागि शिक्षक भएर पेसा गरिरहेको छु र यही कुरा चाहिँ मलाई सम्झना आउँछ भन्नुभयो। थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल।
Thank you.
वाओ! So, what happened? Why that teacher told you those 7 words? Can you tell a little bit of background about that one also? I think that's also important for many of our audience to know because the way you are telling it generates the energy and it give a goosebump.
Well, I think I can feel now. I can share the story now. Both my parents are no longer here because they never knew about this. I've got to a point where peer pressure and following my peers who might have come from families where education was not as valued as mine, I was following them. I was skipping classes, doing things that my parents, when I mean by things like not attending schools, um, and my parents never knew about this. Because you see, I think I'm gonna almost kind of reveal my age here, but this almost 40 years back, um, the the Senegalese school system, sometimes my parents did not know what things were going on because it was not an automatic phone call to the parents to let them know. So maybe they will find out later during a parent teacher conference and stuff like that, things like, because it's a long time ago. So the teacher saw that my grades were falling from A's and B's, if I want to use an American way of, grading, to D's and sometimes F's. So he took time and realized that there's something going on. So, but as a teenager, like most teenagers, I didn't want to open myself up to an adult. So you see, we're always looking for an adult that we can trust. And sometimes as teenagers, we try to push and see the limit and see who can we trust really. That's why it's very important to be patient with them. So that teacher really, it took time for me to open up to him. It took time. But the I will never give up on you was not the first meeting that teacher had with me. We've had countless meetings during lunch sometimes. Where he would talk to me, what's going on? What happened? I see that you're changing. And I'll just give nothing. I'm okay. I'm fine. And when I see sometimes my students do that, I just kind of smile. And I know this was me a few years ago. So I know exactly what's going on. So that experience gave me the opportunity as a teacher now to be able to relate to my students. And sometimes I share my story with them, and that really helped them trust me. So that teacher earned my trust before I could tell him what was really bothering me. a lot of emotional like trauma going on that I had to go through that um, that I was not willing to just share freely with an adult, especially a teacher. So he earned my trust, and I finally shared with him everything that was going on. After he told me I will never give up on you, I was like, I can trust him. He got my back.
Right, 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 right. Thank you. Yeah, let me tell that thing. उहाँलाई मैले सोधेँ त्यो टिचरले उहाँले किन त्यो भन्ने सम्झना अवस्थामा पुग्नुभयो त भन्दा उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ म अरू सङ्गतमा लागेर सङ्गात सञ्जायते काममा लागेर कुसङ्गतमा लागेर त्यो उमेरमा वयस्क हुँदाखेरि विभिन्न उस्तै खालका साथीहरूसँग हिँडेर उरनठेउलो भएर विभिन्न किसिमका नराम्रा कतिवटा कुकृत्यमा पट्टि ढल्केको अवस्था हुँदाखेरि बाबा मलाई थाहा हुँदैन थियो किन सेनेगलको त्यहाँको स्कुलको व्यवस्था अनुसार यहाँ जस्तो नानीहरू स्कुलमा नआउँदा तुरुन्तै घरमा फोन जाने या त इमेल जाने कुरा हुँदैन थियो बाबाआमाले पछाडि पछाडिमा चाल पाउनुहुन्थ्यो हुन त उहाँका बुवा आमा दुईजनै शिक्षक परिवारबाट हुनुहुन्थ्यो एजुकेसन परिवारबाट हुनुहुन्थ्यो तर त्यो हुँदाखेरि एकजना टिचरलाई थाहा भयो यो नानी बिग्रेको छ भनेर र टिचरले आएर उसको ग्रेड हेर्ने कसरी किन फेल भयो किन तल ल्यायो किन माथि ल्यायो उसको व्यवहार कस्तो भनेर एक बार होइन दुई खेप होइन तिन खेप 10 खेप 50 खेप भनेपछि केही गर्दा धेरैचोटि भन्दा 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 गरिसकेपछि ऊ टिचरले आएर भने आई नेभर गिभ अप अन यु भनिसकेपछि पक्कै पनि यो शिक्षकले चाहिँ मलाई साँच्चै गरेको होला भन्ने उहाँको विश्वास जितेर उहाँले त्यो टिचरले भनेको कुरा मान्नुभयो र आज पनि उहाँ पढाउँदै गर्दाखेरि कोही विद्यार्थीहरूले कुरा नटेरेर के गरेर भएको खण्डमा पक्कै पनि यसलाई मेरै जस्तो भएको छ होला पहिले मेरै कहानीहरूले पनि कहानी बोक्दैछ भन्ने जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ र यी नानीहरूको के छ हालत हालत भनेर म तुरुन्तै बुझ्छु भन्ने कुरा भन्दै हुनुहुन्छ थ्याङ्क यू डक्टर फल लेट मी रिड वान कमेन्ट फ्रम Sarma Hem Baskota. He is a veteran from our community. I had interviewed him a few weeks ago. So he's saying, Dr. Mawdo, right? That's how I pronounce your name?
Mhm.
We have almost similar upbringing. I can relate to most of the stuff that you talk about. Thank you for being inspiration to many. People like us need to come together and make physical, financial, educational, health, security ironclad to our people by educating and showing steps. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharma. And again, this is just another um, proof that there are more things that unite us than divide us.
Yes, yes.
We have so many like shared experiences that regardless of where you are from. So sometimes our experiences, just intersect, and we if we can find ways where look at things that we have in common and work on things that that we differ on, then we can just help move the world forward. You support our children. Education is very important in a child's life, and what can we do to um, help them be successful adults?
Thank you, Dr. Fall.
Thank you so much for your
Now, since we are moving towards the second phase, because we talk about Senegal and your journey, your childhood out there. So after coming to the United, you don't want to talk much about your journey there, but I think you can talk about after coming to the United States. Many of us we face a similar struggle when you were new to this country. Either whether it's a language or a culture or the system, everything else. I think that relates to many of us. Many of my audience have a similar struggle. Some of us, some people, they moved one direction. Some of them moved the other direction. Whether the right or wrong, good or bad, difficult or easy, whatever it may be. Can you share some of your experience in the beginning when you were in this country? What were the struggles that you had in that time? If you are okay with that.
Well, I was fortunate enough to follow the path of one of my older brothers. He was studying English in college, and I just wanted to follow him, like do what he does. And the English language was just, I loved it because we did in high school. So I was not a math person. I was more of a language person. And English is my third language.
Oh, I didn't ask that question. What are your languages? What are languages you speak?
Oh, yeah. So being from Senegal, of course, I speak Wolof. I speak French because French is the official language of Senegal due to Senegal being colonized by France. So you speak Wolof. When you go to school, when you start kindergarten, instruction is in French. But also as you progress in the school system, then you are introduced to different languages. I studied English, the Spanish, I studied German, um, but also just many other languages that you're exposed in school. So that's why you find a lot of Senegalese speak a lot of different languages because the educational system encourages different languages,
Wow.
learning different languages. So I was fortunate enough before I came to this country that I had a master's in English literature. So I did my English studies at University Cheikh Anta Diop before I was presented with the opportunity to come to the United States.
Wow. That's interesting. Thank you, Dr. Fall. So you speak four languages. मलाई मैले
So, um, mhm. Sorry, go ahead.
great.
There was a delay, so
Yeah,
I'm
thank you,
sorry. I
Dr. Fall.
apologize.
So मैले उहाँलाई सोधेर थिएँ a little bit delayed, that's okay. I think it will be fixed after some time. मैले उहाँलाई सोधेको थिएँ तपाईँ कुन कुन कतिवटा कस्तो खालको स्ट्रगल भएको थियो भन्दा उहाँको ठुलो दाजु हुनुहुन्छ अरे दाजुले आफ्नो हिँडेको बाटो हिँडेपछि मलाई त्यो खालको च्यालेन्जेस त केही पनि भएन किनभने म वहीँनिर धेरै शिक्षाको धेरै माथि पुगेर आएको थिएँ र उहाँको फुटस्टेपलाई फलो गरेँ त्यस पछाडि म अगाडि बढ्न सकेँ भन्नुभएको छ धन्यवाद again, I'm telling some of my audience, please put your comments and questions here for Dr. Fall so they can share your and share your answer your questions here as he is here right now. And also, please make sure you share your videos also. So, Dr. Fall, now let's go to the next thing. One thing I'm so impressed about your work is I think 4 years ago, first
Mm-hmm,
time I was invited to speak, 4 or 5 years, I don't remember that one, but I was invited to speak in Hannah Ashton Middle School.
mm-hmm,
So I went to several different classrooms, and one of the classrooms was in your classroom.
mm-hmm,
And it was perfectly arranged. Everything was very well arranged. I was a little bit impressed with that part. And the more thing and challenging thing for me to understand, I'm not telling the challenging, but for me to understand how this is possible was your
mm-hmm,
classroom. You
mm-hmm,
have the big, what do you call it, watermelon
mm-hmm,
being grown within your classroom. You have a cucumber grown within your classroom. You have eggplants in your classroom. And all those things you are doing in a classroom with your students. Can you talk about more about that? Because that is something still hunting me. Well, not in a bad sense, a good sense. How it's
mm-hmm.
possible for a teacher to do all these things with the students in the classroom? Let me
Well,
just tell this question in Nepali as well.
mm-hmm,
मैले उहाँलाई म सोध्दैछु एउटा प्रश्न सोधेको थिएँ उहाँसँग आजभन्दा 3-4 वर्ष अगाडि 5 वर्ष अगाडि उहाँको एउटा स्कुलमा मलाई बोलाएको थिएँ केही कुरा बोल्नको लागि उहाँ जाँदाखेरि उहाँ क्लासरुमलाई हेरेर म छक्क परेको थिएँ किन उहाँको क्लासरुमभित्रै कोठामै उहाँले खरबुजा पनि फलाएको थियो काँक्रा पनि फलाएको थियो बैगुन पनि फलाएको थियो विभिन्न किसिमका फलफुलहरू क्लासरुमभित्र फलाउनुहुन्थ्यो अनि यो कसरी सम्भव हुन्छ भने म आश्चर्यचकित भएको थिएँ र उहाँ आफै गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो कुरा र म उहाँलाई सोध्दैछु कसरी भयो भनेर उहाँले के भन्नुहुन्छ सुनौँ कृपया सेयर गर्न नभुल्नु होला है तपाईँ सबैजनाले Go ahead, Dr. Paul.
so I believe you're talking about the hydroponic system. So you know, I love nature. I'm a nature person. I love gardening. I love bird watching. I build bird boxes for bluebirds. I call myself one of the bluebird landlords. So gardening is something that is very, very important to me, and it's something that many of my students also would tell you, because I have students from who are Bhutanese, Nepalese, and students from just all around the world. Um, so I was fortunate enough to have at Hannah Ashton Middle School hydroponic towers. And if the audience would like to maybe Google it later, for those who are not familiar with the hydroponic towers, you can Google it and see what it looks like. But basically, it's a tower um, that you can use to grow plants indoors. So my students were very excited about the possibility of growing fruits and vegetables inside the classroom. And I could vividly remember the light in your face when you walk in the classroom and you saw it. Although it was like 5 years ago, I could still see how excited and shocked you were that how can we grow all of these in the classroom? So the kids planted it. Each one of them planted the seed that they wanted to plant, and there is a way to grow it in the classroom. It will take time to grow it in a cube that we call um, rock wool cube with vermiculite and all the other things that we need to grow it, and set it aside until it's ready to be planted in the hydroponic. And then from there, it has a system with a tank and water and a pump that will just distribute the water to the tower, and the plant is constantly watered, and you can set up the light to automatically come on and come off. So it's something that we're still doing, that I'm still doing at my current school, and just enjoy doing it.
थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल। मैले उहाँलाई सोधेको थिएँ यो कुराको त मलाई मैले भने उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ यो हाइड्रोपोनिक टावर भनेको घरभित्रै कोठामा विद्यार्थीहरूसँग बसेर विभिन्न किसिमका सागसब्जी फलफुल फलाउन सकिन्छ, त्यो गर्नुहुन्छ। त कारण किन गरेको भने उहाँलाई गार्डनिङ धेरै मनपर्ने, चरा हेर्न धेरै मनपर्ने र अरू पनि विभिन्न किसिमका बारीमा काम गर्ने उहाँलाई धेरै मनपर्छ। किन कति उहाँसँग भएका विद्यार्थी भुटनिस नेपाली विद्यार्थी संसारभरिका विद्यार्थी छन्, तर ती विद्यार्थीहरूले धेरै रुचाउँछन्। र जो म गएको बेला कुरा भन्नु म कोठाभित्र पसेर हेर्दाखेरि म आश्चर्यचकित भएको थिएँ। धेरैचोटि मैले हेरेको पनि थिएँ, किन उहाँको कोठाभित्र यत्र यत्र विभिन्न किसिमका फलफुलहरू फलेका थिए कोठाभित्रै। भनेपछि म अचम्म लाग्यो, तर त्यो चाहिँ एउटा लाइटनिङ सिस्टमहरू मिलाएर पानी मिलाएर गर्ने गरिन्छ भन्नुहुन्छ। त्यो चाहिँ उहाँले गरेर देखाएको थियो, त्यो कुरा म उहाँदेखि धेरै भन्छ मलाई धेरै प्रेरणा पाएको थिएँ उहाँको देखेर। थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल। सो again,
Mhm.
and as you were speaking, so thank you so much for your dedication and time that you are putting, because personal level of time, not I'm talking about because as a teacher you do as a job, but more than that, your dedication and putting time is very, very important. As well as when I see that physically inside your classroom, I can see that happening there. So
I appreciate it.
thank you. So now let's talk about, do you want to add anything else there? Are you good with that one?
No, that's
Thank you.
yeah.
So now let's talk about a few things that I'm why I asked you to come to talk with me today is about those
Mhm,
7 words. I
mhm,
what are 7 word that teacher gave you? I will never
mhm. Give
give
up on
up on
you.
you. That's
I will never
I
give
will
up on
never
you.
give up on
Mhm,
you. I will never give up on म
mhm.
तिमीलाई कहिले पनि छोड्दिनँ अथवा I will never give up on you. So in that one, I think the similar concept you wrote a book. Maybe in that same line of thinking or different line of thinking, you might want to talk about it. Can you tell about what is that book about and what does the book entails the audience? And we can discuss more about it on that one.
So the book is titled Unshattered, and Unshattered is a coming of age story that follows a boy named Bakari, a 15-year-old Bakari, whose story is somewhat similar to mine. So without giving too much, because I would like your audience to go ahead and order the book, and we'll share the link and all that later. But it is he's a 15-year-old child who's gone through the challenges that most adolescents go through. In addition to that, he'd faced tremendous, unimaginable loss and had to learn to navigate life
Okay, yeah,
with
go ahead, go ahead.
all of that going on in his with had to navigate life with all those challenges and the immense loss that he's gone through. And again, I don't want to give a lot. It's set in the 1990s Senegal, and it's rich in cultural elements, but also a lot of things that I think a lot of people who read the book would say this is almost like my story, because through my writing I want to create characters that people can identify with, and I think I've done that with Bakari. Now, and this is why I want to give a shout out to Evelyn. Evelyn is my wonderful editor.
Oh,
And if you want to know about Evelyn, you're going to have to purchase the book
okay.
and read the acknowledgement section of it to know who really she is as an editor and a human being.
थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल। मैले उहाँले सबै हेर्ने दर्शक साथीहरू तपाईँलाई म फेरि अनुरोध गर्छु, तपाईँले प्लिज यसलाई सेयर गर्नुहोला, कमेन्ट लेख्नुहोला, तपाईँ क्वेसन सोध्नुहोला। उहाँलाई मैले अर्को भने उहाँ ठुलो प्रेरणाको स्रोत हुनुहुन्छ हामीसँगै पनि। मैले अघि तपाईँलाई एउटा कुरा उहाँको बताएँ, उहाँको क्लासरुम कस्तो हुन्छ भनेर। तर त्योभन्दा ठुलो कुरा उहाँले त्यो 7वटा शब्द भन्नुभयो, आई नेभर गिभ अप अन यु भन्ने। त्यो सुनेर पनि अर्को छक्क परेँ। कसरी उहाँको जीवनमा आएर आज उहाँ शिक्षक हुनुहुन्छ, पिएचडी हुनुहुन्छ। हाम्रो जीवनसँग उहाँको धेरै कुरा तालमेल खान्छ। तर त्योभन्दा अर्को कुरा उहाँले विशेष के गर्नुभएको छ, उहाँले पुस्तक लेख्नु भएको छ। किताबको नाम हो अनस्याटर्ड भनेर। त्यो किताबको नाम अनस्याटर्ड, त्यो किताबको कथा भनेको चाहिँ उहाँको कथासँग तालमेल खान्छ। र त्यो किताबमा चाहिँ बकारी भन्ने एकजना 18 15 वर्षको नानी हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँको जीवनमा उहाँले कसरी चाहिँ सङ्घर्ष गर्नुभयो र सङ्घर्षरत जीवनबाट कसरी बाहिर जानुभयो भन्ने कुरा उहाँ विशेष कुराकानी गरिएको छ। र उहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ यो सबै किताबको कुरा बताएँ भने त तपाईँलाई के मजा आउँछ र तपाईँले किताब अर्डर गर्नुहोला, एमाजोनमा पाइन्छ। मैले उहाँलाई यो पनि कुरा गरेको थिएँ, मेरो धेरै अडियन्सहरूले त्यो किताब किनेर पढ्नुहुन्छ होला। तपाईँको किताब पढ्यो भने धेरै बाबुआमाले त्यो किताब पढिसकेपछि नानीहरू त्यो स्कुल जानेको पनि फाइदा हुन्छ र हामी आफूलाई पनि धेरै कुरा सिकिन्छ। म पनि त्यो किताब किन्दैछु र हामी सबै उहाँको किताब किनेर पढौँ भन्न पनि तपाईँलाई मैले सबैजनालाई भन्न पनि खोजेको हुँ। र त्यो किताब उहाँ चाहिँ सेनेगलमा 1990तिरको कथा के छ त्यसको आधारमा रहेको र 15-16 वर्षको नानीको त्यो वयस्क उमेर हुँदा टिनेज हुँदाखेरि कस्ता खालका कुरा हुन्छ, कस्ता खालका च्यालेन्जेसहरू आउँछन्, कस्ता अप्ठ्यारा आउँछन्, यिनै विषयमा उहाँले त्यो किताबमा धेरै कुराकानी गर्नुभएको छ। र तपाईँको केही प्रश्न भए कृपया राखिदिनु होला र तपाईँले आज किन धेरैले सेयर गर्नुभएको छ सबैले सेयर गरिदिनु होला भन्ने अनुरोध गर्दछु। थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल। So do you want to add anything else on that one?
As far as the book is concerned,
Yes.
I think it's just maybe your audience may like, why did I decide to write a book? Or how did I find my calling as an author? When did I discover that I could write a book or write a story? This is the story. This is the question that many people ask me, and usually my answer is just we are all authors. And I like to one of the authors who really inspire me is Chinua Achebe. He's an African Nigerian writer. He's one of the three authors who really inspire me to want to do this work. He once said that storytelling is a creative component of human experience, which means like storytelling is just part of who we are. So usually when I tell my students about this work, I tell them we're all writers, we're all authors of our own stories. And these are stories, things that we go through, things that we observe, and it's just take us to think about it, because these stories need to be told. They demand that we talk about them. So it's just a matter of taking your time and thinking about how will I tell my story? What story is worth telling? Because not every story is worth telling, but what story is worth telling? How can my story contribute to literature? How can my story contribute to uplifting somebody? How can my story contribute to making the world a better place? And I think each one of us have stories that we can share, that we can write about, that can change the world. And again, my editor was really instrumental in developing me as an author, because when I first wrote the manuscript and handed it to her, I mean, her feedback were brutal.
Wow.
It looked like I didn't want to. I'm like, oh, this is not good. I don't want to do this anymore. But she kept me on it, and she really helped me develop as an author. So for anybody who wants to write a book or is looking to be an author, it's not going to happen overnight. is just first step is to find a story to write about that you're passionate about, and find the right people that you can surround yourself to help you guide you um, to a product that is consumable and a product that again can change lives.
Thank you. Let me tell this thing that I have a few other questions. उहाँलाई
Mhm.
किताबको कुरा गर्दै गर्दा मैले किताब लेख्ने किन मैले किताब लेखेँ भन्ने कुरापट्टि म बोल्नु पर्यो भन्नुभएर उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ म अफ्रिकन राइटर छ चिनवा चेबे भन्ने मान्छे जो हुनुहुन्छ उहाँको किताब पढेर त्यहाँबाट म धेरै प्रेरित भएँ र प्रेरणा मैले त्यहाँबाट पाएँ र मलाई लाग्छ स्टोरी टेलिङ हाम्रो कथा म भन्ने गर्छु नि हामीले हर हर दिन कथा पनि सुन्ने गर्छौँ है स्टोरी टेलिङ कथा भन्नु र कथा लेख्नु हामी सबै लेखक नै हौँ हामीले लेख्न थाल्यो भने र कथा भन्नु कथा लेख्नु चाहिँ हाम्रो आफ्नो सबै नै लेख्न सक्ने क्षमता भएका छौँ र यो लेख्नुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो पनि मान्यता भएकाले गर्दाखेरि मैले लेख्ने कुरा गरेँ साथसाथै अब कसरी लेख्ने त भन्दाखेरि कहाँबाट लेख्ने त भन्दाखेरि आफूले लेख्न थाल्यो लेख्न थाल्यो किताबको नाम अनस्टार्टर भनेर अब किन लेख्न थालिसके पछाडि अब मनस्क्रिप्ट नै पहिले लेखिसकेर आफ्नो उहाँको एडिटरलाई दिइसकेपछि एडिटरले बहुत अप्ठ्यारा टिक्का टिप्पणी पनि गर्नुभयो उहाँले ब्रुटल भनेको चाहिँ जबरजस्ती खालका र त्यो गर्दा मलाई यो गर्न नसक्ने काम रहेछ जस्तो पनि उहाँलाई कतिचोटि त भयो तर उहाँको सल्लाह सुझावले गर्दै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ स्टोरी लेख्नमा पुग्यो तर स्टोरी लेख्दा जस्तासुकै लेखेर पनि भएन कस्तो खालको स्टोरी लेख्दा चाहिँ समाजमा केही न केही उत्थान हुन्छ अथवा जागरण चेतना पनि आउँछ अथवा केही न केही लिटरेचरलाई केही सहायता पुग्छ भन्ने कुरालाई पनि ख्यालमा राखेर नि यो कथा लेख्न हामीले सुरु गरिएको थियो भनेर उहाँले कुरा बताउँदै हुनुहुन्छ सो डाक्टर फल देयर आर सम क्वेसन्स हियर शर्मिला तिमसिना saying namaste and Uma Acharya how are you good sir Nita Upreti book name please so name of the book is utter right I think after these things you can respond to those with that book
Yes, so the book's name is Unshattered, and if you go to
go on
Amazon or
Saturday
if you even Google my name, I don't know if it's you can see it, but this is what
yes
it would
yes
look like. So the title is Unshattered. So if you Google my name, it probably will take you to my website, my author's website, but also you can go to Amazon and type Dr. Mawdo Fall. It will come up. So the book is not available until April 30th. So we're talking
oh
about
okay
5 days from now. But the Kindle version is ready for pre-order. So you can
okay
order it for people who want to do the Kindle version is available for pre-order right now.
all right thank you but once we are done please put the comment here so sorry link here in the comment section so that people can go and find that
Okay.
out or if anybody if your friends or family is watching please family friends please put that thing in your comment because I cannot put right now
Okay.
and Prem care is a caption please so I think caption means that 7 letters what are the 7 words that change your life I will never
I will never give up on you. I see the link here, but if I send
no
something on the private chat, it goes to you. It
yes,
doesn't
yes.
go to the
Yeah,
audience for
you'll do
whatever reason.
after once we are done with this, you can go
Okay.
and put that one there. Yeah,
Okay.
or the
Okay.
family friends those who are watching they can do, but we cannot do
Yes.
that one.
Yes. So
And
those words, I will never give up on you. And it just
yeah,
it just shows the power of words. See,
uh-huh.
as adults, as educators, as parents, as teachers, as just in general adults who are working with children, we should never underestimate the power of our words. Our words can impact the life of these young people in a way that we can never, never, never even imagine. So just think about the teacher when he said what he said. He had no idea. He had no idea that almost over 40 years after, I'll be sitting down here talking about him. And he's no longer with us. As a matter of fact, he even didn't watch me go to the university because he passed away. He was young. So, but his contribution to society is through me. And that's teaching is a mission for me. It's not when people ask me why did you become a teacher, I usually say I didn't choose teaching. Teaching chose me because that's not what I envisioned doing. That's not what I wanted to do. But because of that one experience, that interaction with the teacher, again, it completely changed the direction I wanted to go with the teacher, and I did not regret it. And I teach with passion. Um, because that's something that I really love doing.
Wow, wow, very powerful. Thank you. उहाँले त्यो क्याप्सन भन्नुहुन्छ प्रेम पोखरेलजीको क्याप्सन भन्दाखेरि उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ जो जो हामी बोल्छौँ यी शब्द बहुत शब्दको आफ्नो आफ्नै तेज हुन्छ, आफ्नो ताकत हुन्छ। जो शब्द हामीले बोलिन्छ बहुत ख्याल गरेर बोल्नुपर्ने पनि हुन्छ। र जो शिक्षकले मलाई ती 7वटा शब्द भनेका थिए, ती शिक्षक अहिले यो संसारबाट बितेर गइसके छैन नि यहाँनिर। तर तिनको ती 7वटा शब्दको कारणले आज म जो जो 40 वर्ष पछाडि जो गर्दैछु उनको कारणले गर्दैछु। र हामी कहिले पनि कसैको पनि अर्काको अन्डर एस्टिमेट अथवा अर्कालाई सानो सम्झिन हामीले हुँदैन, किनभने त्यसले बहुत ठुलो परिणाम ल्याउन सक्छ भन्ने कुरा आउँछ। र म अहिले खुसीसाथ प्रसन्नसँगले पढाउँछु, मलाई पढाउन मन लाग्छ र जीवन मैले शिक्षकै भएर बिताउने कुरा गर्दा म कहिले पनि रिग्रेट गरेको छुइनँ। कारण किनभने कसैको जिन्दगीमा खुसियाल ल्याउँदैछु भन्ने पनि म बुझ्दैछु भन्नुहुन्छ। र मोहराज शर्मा, हि इज अ television anchor. He's a director of a very big national television in Nepal. So he's
Mhm.
telling very interesting and inspiring interview. Bhuvan sir, please convey to author the best wishes from Nepal. So Dr. Fall, you are also known in Nepal very well now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying for being with us. Appreciate it.
Mhm. So now, as we are going towards the end of our program, I have two more questions to you
Mhm.
um, regarding the book. So
Mhm.
maybe helpful for many audience as well,
Mhm.
because there are so many people who could be thinking writing the book, not writing the book. Can you
Mhm.
tell us what circumstances? Because you touched a little bit of my answer in the my answer of my question before this one as well.
Mhm.
What were the circumstances that put you towards writing the book, and what you did like 1 2 3 4 in the beginning? There could be so many contemplation whether to what not to, whether this is topic or that topic. Can you share that one, because this is related to many of us who are immigrants in
Mhm.
this country?
I think one day I was in one of my class teaching, and I happened to read a story. I read a story. There are three authors, African authors, who inspire me. One of them is Chino Achebe. The other one is called Ben Okri, and there's Ngugi wa Thiong'o. So I was reading a. It was a. We worked on something in class, and I did a read aloud that was um, related to what the content we were learning in class. So I was reading the book. I was reading part of the book to my students, followed by questions. As I'm reading the story, one of my students were just he was cracking up, he was laughing, he was like the class was so engaged. They loved the story, and I told them, this is I didn't choose this to read this book by accident. This is one of the authors who really inspired me. And then after that day, I was like, you know what? I think I can write a book or write a story. It was not even a book. Let me just write a story, write something. And I just said, okay, so I'm gonna write a story, and it's gonna be a story about a boy who's gone through challenges in life. And I started thinking about it. I started thinking about things that I've gone through as a teenager, growing up, trying to just find my way in life and all that, all the struggles and all the pressure, the societal pressure, the family's expectations, and you cannot meet all those expectations. It's like challenges and hurdles along the way. I said, I'm going to create a character who's going to go through a lot of things in life. And through that character, I'm going to teach young people how to be resilient, how to defy the odd, how to fall down. Nobody expects you to get up, and there you are standing. But oh no,
Wow.
how can he do that? Oh no, the community has to be part of it because the community was important in my upbringing. Okay, so the community is going to help that child, but how is the community going to help the child? You see what I'm saying? So you just start putting these pieces and pieces and pieces, And I can tell you the way the story started when I scribbled it and wrote it is completely different from the way it looked. And it's just like step after step and after step. And when I talk about the writing process with my students, fourth grade and fifth grade students this year, I think it was March 25th, during Read for America week. So I was given the opportunity to share the writing process, how the process involved in writing a book to the students. And that's one of the things I told them. I was like, just come up with a story. It doesn't have to make sense the first time you come up with the story, but at least think about what you want to do, who's going to be the character, and why are you creating this character. Now remember, the character is going to face challenges. What's going to be those challenges, and how he's going to go over? What is the resolution of the story? Who's going to help him along or her along the way? And then just the story is given birth, is born, but then again, remember the empty glasses that I referenced to earlier. You gradually add elements in that empty glasses. You gradually fill it with elements that will help the glass fill up.
Wow.
It comes with a one idea, and one idea in your mind, and you say, you know what, I can create something from this, and everybody can do it because again, storytelling is a component of our experience. We all have stories, stories that needs to be shared with the world in whatever way, whether through writing or through just speeches.
Wow. 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 Thank you, Dr. Fall. That's so important. मैले उहाँलाई सोधेको थिएँ तपाईँले कसरी किताब लेख्न सुरु गर्नुभयो त भन्दा मैले लामो तरिकाले भन्नुभयो म छोटो भन्छु I'm going to make it brief. We are running short of time though.
Mhm.
उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ म एक दिन किताब क्लासमा पढाउँदै थिएँ पढाउँदा पढाउँदै उहाँलाई एउटा किताब छ उहाँका राइटरको नाम छ बनोक्री गुगी बाफियागो. Is that right? दुईजना
Yes, Benokri, Gugi Wathiongo,
बिआफाङ्गो उनी दुईजना
and Chinua Achebe.
किनुवा थेबे यी तिनजना लेखकले लेखेका किताबहरू पढ्दा एउटा विद्यार्थी बहुत हाँसी हाँसी मजा गरेर रमाए किन रमाए भन्ने कुरा गर्दाखेरि उहाँ किताब लेख्ने यस्तो इन्सपायरिङ किताब लेख्ने कुरा हुन्थ्यो अनि त्यस पछाडि मैले किताब लेख्ने कुरा गरेँ फेरि किताब होइन एउटा कथा लेख्नु पर्यो भन्ने कुरा गरेँ अनि कथा लेख्दै जाँदाखेरि कथा लेख्दै गए पछाडि एक दिन यस्तो बेला भयो कि कथा हुँदै हुँदै गएपछि यसरी कथा हुँदो रहेछ भन्दा अनि लेख्दै जाँदाखेरि कथा हुन्छ किनभने हाम्रो उहाँले लामो कथा भन्नुभएको छ हाम्रो जीवन नै कथा हो र लेख्न थाल्नुपर्छ लेखेपछि हुन्छ हाम्रो धेरैवटा राम्रा कथा आउँछन् तर के समाजमा जस्तो खाली ग्लास त्यो ग्लासमा केही एउटा कुरा अरू कुरा लाउँदा पूर्ण ग्लास भरिन्छ भने जस्तै समाजले भर्छ र त्यही किसिमले उहाँको कथा सुरु भयो कथा सुरु हुँदै किताब भयो किताबबाट अब प्रकाशनमा आइसकेको अवस्था छ सो थ्याङ्क यू डाक्टर फल So we're towards the end of the program right now. Do you want to add anything that we might have forget to? I might have forgot to ask a question. That anything that you want to add towards the end?
Well, I really don't have anything else other than just thanking you for the opportunity. And again, we just had a conversation. Was it last week? And you talked to me about coming in, to just talk about all of this. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk to your audience, for the opportunity to share part of my story, because I didn't share all my story, with your audience, and really and want to appreciate the work you do for your community, because you and I have known each other for a long time, and the work you do for your community is really praiseworthy. You're a community leader. Being, correcting me if I'm wrong, the very first Bhutanese Nepali city councilman. That is really inspiring. And your story I've shared with my students, especially my Bhutanese Nepali students. I really share your story with them in a way to just inspire them. That's your calling. Your calling is being the voice of your community. and I can only thank you for the work that you do. It's really appreciated.
Thank you, Dr. Fall. Thank you. You're always so inspiring to me and many people. So उहाँलाई सोधेको थिएँ, उहाँले मैले भन्नु केही छैन, यस मौका दिनुभयो धन्यवाद र उहाँले मेरै कथा सुन्न राम्रो लाग्छ भन्नुभयो. So thank you so much. Once Packerel, when the book is available, Sarmila Timsina is asking when the book is available. Book available when a book will be available on April 30th. I think there is a Heather has put the link there. I think you can find more information there. And after this, Dr. Fall will be putting that address. It's a link also, so we'll get that book and let's all read and we can have a book discussion here with Dr. Fall once the book is out, and Dr. Fall maybe in after maybe a few months after we all can come together and discuss the book here in my program. That I can do that one.
Appreciate it. I look
Tara,
forward to that.
Tara Basnet is telling very interesting story, Dr. Fall. I am mom of Alicia Bista, so maybe that's a story.
Hi, how are you? How are you? Jalai, say hi, and thanks for being part of the audience. I appreciate it.
राइट थ्याङ्क यू सबैजनालाई म अब एक अनुरोध गर्छु, तपाईँ सबैजनाले हेर्नुहुन्छ, तपाईँले प्लिज मलाई युट्युबमा गएर सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनु होला. मैले 500जना बनाउनु पर्ने छ. तपाईँ जान्नुहुन्न भने बरु नानीहरूलाई सोधेर भए पनि प्लिज सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनु होला, किनभने मेरो युट्युबको अडियन्स 500 पुर्याउँछु महिनाको अन्तिममा. For English speaking audience, those who understand only English, I'm asking please go to my YouTube channel. It is Talk to Bhuvanji. And once you are there, make sure you subscribe there. I want to make the subscription 500 this month. And Basnet Tara is telling, I'm good, sir. So Tara Basnet is telling, responding to your comment. So thank you, Dr. Falls. We are right 1 hour. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story. I am very much eager to buy your book and read. I think April 30th, I'll buy this one. Whenever the link is available, please put that down there. I will be ordering right away and want to read your book, and maybe we'll come and discuss your book here in the show again.
Thank you and namaste.